when we think SVG can't do anything else to wow us even more than he already has, he just did something else. Like what? What did I just see at Watkins Glen today? Welcome back to another episode of Talkin NASCAR. I am your host, Andrew Volkman. I'm also the co-host of Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew, if you already didn't know that. Sorry, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what SVG just did at Watkins Glen not too long ago, earlier today. It was insane what SVG just did at Watkins Glen. We got to talk about that and more in today's episode. But let's go ahead and just start by, actually talking about what I've been restating for the last, like, I don't know, 30-ish seconds of recording into this one. But anyways, Shane Van Gisbergen wins back-to-back races in the NASCAR Cup Series at Watkins Glen International Raceway. SVG, he's done very, very well on road courses in his NASCAR Cup Series career and his O'Reilly Auto Parts Series career, going back to when in his first start in NASCAR when he drove for Project 91 in at Chicago. He was able to come up and win in his first career start, and we've seen that continue in every single road course race pretty much that he was here in the America and coming over to America in NASCAR. He's been able to just dominate every single road course that he's been to. Sonoma, Circuit of the Americas, even though he hasn't won that one yet. He's done very well at Chicago. He did very well at Mexico City. He's done very good at road courses in his entire NASCAR career, and I keep saying it. Today at Watkins Glen, though, comes in defending race winner from this race, but has a lot of drivers gunning for him. Michael McDowell qualifies on the front row, showed great speed at in qualifying. Excuse me, Connor Zilic. Shane Van Gisbergen's teammate, his rookie teammate, road course phenom Connor Zilic, also up front. He was looking like he was going to maybe win a race, win his first career race late in the going. Ty Gibbs, he is a very good road course racer, qualified up front. Very good road course racer. Looked like he may get his second win of his Cup Series career. Tyler Reddick was up there late in the going. Very good road course racer. He got his first career win at Road America back in 2022. AJ Allmendinger, Ross Chastain, some other guys that are also noteworthy names that have been very successful on road courses in their NASCAR Cup Series careers. And despite having to pit late in stage 3 after a string of cautions in stage 2 kind of, shook up the fuel strategy at Watkins Glen today, really made fuel strategy really weird. Like, an SVG has to pit with a little under 20 laps to go. He has to work his way all the way back from 26th place to even catch the leaders in only 20-ish laps and something like that. Down 29 seconds from leaders Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilic, who are going at it at the front. Now, granted, Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilic were in a really good battle for the victory. It's Gibbs going for his second career victory, Connor Zilic going for his first. And because they were battling so aggressively, that allowed SVG to close on them very, very quickly when he got to them. But he was able to get up inside the top 3 in basically like 17, 16-ish laps, down 29 seconds to even get in the same range. It was impressive to see what Shane Van Gisbergen did. I mean, the guys in the booth were even saying that it would take a lot for SVG to even get back up to the front. He may not even get, he would take a caution for him to, have a chance. But no, it didn't. Shane Van Gisbergen was able to go from 26th place to the top 3 in 15 laps, make up roughly 27, 28-ish seconds on Zilic and Ty Gibbs. It was incredible what he did. And then he went up and passed both of them. And, they were on older tires, Shane Van Gisbergen on newer tires, but he was able to, completely drive past them with maximum effort, which he hadn't shown pretty much all day. He wasn't pushing his car to its limits in this race. And we've seen that before. I remember at Watkins Glen, I think it was last year, he was able to he was like the class of the field. He was up by like 20-ish seconds without having to push his car too much. That's just how good Shane Van Gisbergen is on super speedways. He can do so well on road courses. He can dominate basically without lifting a finger. It's impressive what he can do, and that was put on display again today. Because it looked like, for at least in the beginning of this race, Michael McDowell looked pretty sporty in that number 71 Chevrolet for Spire. Connor Zilic's teammate, once he was in second place behind Shane Van Gisbergen on equal tires, they looked very competitive. Zilich was, I think, the only guy that could truly compete with Shane Van Gisbergen today on equal tires. So I'm not going to say that, SVG completely did this on his own. I think that, with equal tires for both Zilich and Gibbs, it would have been very interesting to see what SVG could have done having to work his way up through 26. So that's a reality that we could say that, makes this less impressive, but it still is. I'm going to repeat again. 26 to first, 29 seconds down in 17 laps to take the lead. Absolutely incredible what Shane Van Gisbergen did. I don't think he was even pushing that car to its maximum effort. I just said that he might have. I don't think he was. I think if he did, he probably would be, he would have probably gotten them in like 15, maybe 14 laps. I don't know. That's just how good I think Shane Van Gisbergen is. Regardless, what a masterclass Shane Van Gisbergen put on here today at Watkins Glen in New York. He wasn't even that good in practice, but that team was able to rally in qualifying, made some adjustments, made the right adjustments. That got Shane Van Gisbergen on pole. That got Connor Zilich up inside the top 5 in qualifying. That put Ross Chastain up towards the top of the order in qualifying as well. Trackhouse, overall, they executed really well today. And also, I got to give credit to Steven Duran, Shane Van Gisbergen's crew chief, who called one of the best races I've seen. I mean, he put his faith, put the faith in the driver, and Shane Van Gisbergen got it done. But, Steven Duran, it was a bit of an interesting pit call, but I think overall, though, it might have been the right move. Get SVG those fresh tires a little bit later in the race and let him go to work. And that's what SVG did. So, shout out to that entire number 97 team, SVG's first win of the season. SVG obviously picking up the victory. Michael McDowell, who started on the front row, finishes in second place in the 71. The 1-2 started 1-2, finished 1-2. Ty Gibbs and Chase Briscoe and Tyler Reddick, 3 straight Toyotas to round out the top 5. Ty Gibbs, he looked really good today. Ty Gibbs looked very, very solid today once again. Qualified pretty well and was able to run up in the top 10 pretty much all day. Chase Briscoe as well looked pretty solid in this race as well. Got some stage points in stage 2, which he desperately needs as he's not quite safe when it comes to being in the chase right now. And then Tyler Reddick qualified 15th. Wasn't the best car overall today, but he looked pretty sporty towards the end of this race. He's still looking very, very solid. Austin Dillon, how about him and Kyle Busch, the two RCR cars inside the top 10? Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch both used a little bit of pit strategy, I believe, after stage 1 to get some more track position, and I think they used it a little bit again in stage 2 when all those cautions kind of fell in awkward positions. So Dillon and Busch were able to kind of leapfrog up inside the top 10, and they didn't give it up. So shout out to Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch. Dillon's first top 10 on the year, and then Kyle Busch's second on the year. And then AJ Allmendinger, another road course ace, in 7th place for calling. Austin Cindric, another road course ace, qualified in 3rd place. So shout out to Austin Cindric, finishes in 9th. And then John Hunter Nemechek finishing in 10th for Legacy Motor Club. Kind of bit of a random little result there, but good job for John Hunter Nemechek, who needed a good race today. Ryan Blaney finished in 11th. Chris Buescher in 12th. Didn't really have the best car. I thought Chris Buescher would do a lot better, but he still looked pretty solid today. Daniel Suarez in 13th. Ryan Preece in 14th. And then Cole Custer in 15th. And then Denny Hamlin in 16th. He was, running up inside the top 10 a little bit in this race. Kind of fell back a little bit. Hamlin's not a road course ace by any means, but he still had a pretty solid day, I would say, for Denny Hamlin road course standards. And then Todd Gillen and Zane Smith, 2 front row cars in 17th and 18th. Eric Jones, 19th. Connor Zilich, who actually had the fastest lap in the race today after he had to come down pit road late in the going after he blew a tire. He had the fastest laps of the race. Came all the way back from being in 34th to finish in 20th. So Connor Zilich had a great car today. It reinforces my argument that Connor Zilich was the only guy, I believe, that could truly challenge Shane Van Gisbergen for a victory today at Watkins Glen. And I think that's still going to be relevant when we go to every other road course this season. So Zilich, 20th place, and then some big names outside the top 20 who did not have some good days. First, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, all finished outside the top 20. Bell started pretty well, but just didn't look very sporty today. Didn't have the best car at all. I think he didn't get any stage. He did get some stage points in stage 1. Stage 2 didn't get any either. it was just kind of a quiet day for Christopher Bell, and nothing really went wrong for him. Just kind of a quiet day overall. Very, I would say, disappointing from C. Bell. Larson and Elliott, all the Hendrick cars pretty much looked very disappointing today. Uh, Elliott, Larson, or Larson, Elliott, and Bowman 23rd and 20 through 25th. So that was a disappointing day for Hendrick overall. Ross Chastain won stage one, decided to take some points, got some guaranteed points. He started out front, finishes in 27th. He was on a little bit of an alternate pit strategy, so that's why he is so far back in the field. So Chastain though does desperately need some points. He got some in stage one, didn't get any in stage two though. So Chastain though, pretty solid day I would say overall. Carson Hocevar, didn't really have the best day either. Same with Bubba Wallace. He and Christopher Bell actually had a confrontation on pit road, and it might have been because Bubba Wallace was trying to come to pit road late in this race, but Christopher Bell and Todd Gilliland, they were battling with Bubba Wallace. Didn't really show much courtesy to Wallace, it looked like, or Bubba got angry that, Christopher Bell and Todd Gilliland were still trying to battle him when they both got a radio that Bubba was trying to come to pit road. So I saw that was a bit of a confrontation on pit road. But Bubba ends up in 29th. Brad Keselowski, not a road course racer, but he ends up in 30th. And then William Byron got caught up in a wreck, I believe, in stage two. Got spun out in the bus stop. Got some damage to the right rear of that car. I think it was a tow link, so he had to spend some time on pit road. So tough day for William Byron, but he did look pretty solid. I will give William Byron that. He looked pretty solid in this race, so I was encouraged by that, but unfortunately got caught up in a wreck. So there you go. Those are your finishing results. Very wacky day, I would say, from Watkins Glen. Not the normal contenders you would see up at the front. I mean, SVG, someone we haven't seen up at the front a whole lot. Michael McDowell desperately needed a turnaround day, finishes in second. But like the Gibbs, Briscoe, and Reddick, that kind of group you see up front pretty often, but not Austin Dillon, AJ Allmendinger, or Kyle Busch, or John Hunter Nemechek. A lot of the big names, a lot of the Hendrick guys specifically, Elliott, Larson, and Bowman all outside the top 20. Same with Hocevar, Bubba. I mean, Bubba Wallace, I'm not surprised, didn't do very good. He's not a road course guy, so I'm not surprised by that. But Byron outside the top 30, Bell outside the top 20 when he himself is a pretty good road course racer. Besides that, Busher I thought would do a lot better. Blaney, he looked solid in the first stage. All three Penske cars looked pretty solid. Logano as well. He looked pretty good as well, but got caught up in a wreck. I think he actually spun out coming off turn one and blew a tire, so his day was done. So, excuse me, you know, it was an interesting day for Penske overall, and Cindric was the bright spot, I guess, which is very interesting. Nemechek is up there. You don't see him up there very much. But besides that, the top 10, yeah, top 10 was very, very weird. A lot of names that we don't see, which, is cool. You get to see this on a road course. So very cool to excuse me, from the finishing results. And SVG is, of course, your winner here today. I do apologize for the sniffling and the coughing that you may hear, but it's just, I'm sick and I'm trying to hide it, but there's only so much I can do. But anyways, let's take a look at the points right now. Tyler Reddick still in first place, Denny Hamlin in second place, Chase Elliott in third, Ryan Blaney in fourth, Chris Buescher has climbed up into fifth place, Ty Gibbs in sixth, Carson Hocevar in seventh, and Kyle Larson in eighth, Brad Keselowski in ninth, Bubba down to 10th, Christopher Bell in 11th, William Byron in 12th, Ryan Preece still in 13th, even after his penalty. He's only 1 point ahead of Daniel Suarez on the cut line. Suarez is 8 points above Cindric, and then Cindric is 4 points above SVG, and Shane Van Gisbergen is the last guy in, up by 6. So Cindric is up by 10 on Chase Briscoe, the first guy out. Suarez, I believe, is quick mental math here. He's about 18 points above the cut, I'm pretty sure, and then Preece, he is 19 points above the cut right now to get into the chase. So Briscoe, Logano, Chastain, and Allmendinger are the first four out, and then you can also lump Michael McDowell in there, and then Austin Dillon climbed up into 22nd. Kyle Busch is in 24th, so he's definitely making a little bit of a push here as we get later on into this, get more into the summer, towards the end of spring. Zane Smith in 23rd, and then besides that, Bowman climbing up more spots. He's up to 34th, but he's got a long way to go if he wants to make the chase. So there you go. That's a look at your point standings after today's race at Watkins Glen. SVG is now the last driver in over Chase Briscoe. So with that all in mind, it is time now to move on to the final little segment of today's show, the race review rating. Today at Watkins Glen, it was an interesting race, and I definitely know the pit strategy definitely added a different wrinkle to this one. Definitely made it more exciting because, in my opinion, this race it was a little bland, I would say. There wasn't much passing, a lot of single file racing, but with the softer tire compound and the more horsepower, create a lot more tire wear, which was very, very interesting. The restarts were a little bit chaotic, but there wasn't a whole lot of side by side racing. We did see a good battle between Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilic in this race, but with SVG dominating pretty much all of this race, it was, it made it pretty boring. And I'm saying that in the best way possible that, SVG dominating races is becoming boring now. So I don't know. But anyways, it was an interesting race. The SVG's charge to the end of this race definitely made it more cool. The battle between Zilic and Ty Gibbs was a very fun battle. We saw business really pick up late in this race with more differing pit strategies. Definitely the added 10 laps to this race, compared to previous years where it was only 90 laps, was definitely a good change that NASCAR made. It really made things come down to the wire a little bit more, made it closer on fuel, and it made everything a lot more fun. It was really fun to watch today, at least towards the end of the race. So the end was very solid. The rest of the race was fine overall, I would say. So with that in mind, I'm gonna give today's goal bowling at the Glen. I'm gonna give it a 75% on the the race review rating for this week. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of this race. Would you have given it a higher score? Would you have given it a lower score? Let me know down in the comment section below. But that will do it for this episode, everyone. Hope you enjoyed listening. Hope you enjoyed today's race. If you did, make sure you go check out all the other episodes I have made on this show. I just posted an episode earlier today covering the news from this past week. So hopefully, as the summer months creep ever closer and May and the school year ends, I'll be able to post consistently throughout the week, and it won't just be, me posting twice every Sunday, which is not good for the show. It's definitely not. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you share this with your friends, your family. Help grow the show if you did enjoy it. Follow the show if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe if you are listening on YouTube. Go check out Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew. Just posted an episode earlier today as well. It's been a busy day of podcasting for me. Holy cow. So go check that out. Links to the Spotify page and the YouTube channel for both shows will be in the description below. So thank you all so much for listening. I still don't know how to do these outros, but maybe I'll get there one day. So thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next thing that I do.